Boss Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name's Aston, and today we're going to do a quick review and a recap for the Get Down episode 6. So we finally made it. We finally made it episode 6. I think I did about 4 episodes today. I'm on the last episode of recapping, finally. Alright, so let's jump right into it. So let's jump with Big Ann. We see Big Ann. We see that when we see Big Ann, she's basically at the round table. She got all of her people there. She got Wolf. She got Little Wolf. She got Cadillac's there. Shaw's there. And she's bragging about what Shaolin did. We know in the last episode that Shaolin, at the end, Shaolin and I don't think it wasn't Shaolin, but Dizzy found Napoleon, and obviously we see Shaolin Shaolin turned him in. Well, Shaolin didn't turn him in, but Shaolin gave the information that he got from Napoleon to Big Ann, and we see Big Ann. Basically, she plays his favorite song. She calls him in, just talks to everybody, tells them what kind of information they got. And when she does that, she shoots Wolf right in the leg. Everybody looking at her crazy and whatnot. Then she tells him what happened. He confesses to it. And we see, like, he really didn't want no part of Nicky Barnes. Like, we all know, if you know anything about, like, drug dealers or anything, everybody knows back in that era, Nicky Barnes was really big. And she didn't want no part of him. So, was it Nicky Barnes? I don't think it was Nicky, but she really didn't want no parts of him. So, when she found that out, once they found that out, like, oh, so he did try to do it. Everybody was just cool with it. We see Cadillac steps up to actually take the shot, but she doesn't let him. She tells him that Shaolin brought him in, or Shaolin turned the information in. So Shaolin needs to do the deed to become a man and basically rise up within the organization. And we see Shaolin take the shot. After that, we're gonna move over to Francisco. So Francisco, like the kind of messed up dude to me in this episode. Like I said, I figured him and the wife had something going on. We see when his brother is doing like prayer, doing toast, that he's rubbing on his wife like thigh. She's making all these noises. Everybody's looking at her crazy. Like nobody's questioning it. But I feel like, or was she talking? She might have been talking and she's making weird noises every time like he got closer up her thigh, which is grimy. Like it's super grimy. Like his brother's there, her husband's there, the kids are all around. It's just super foul on so many levels, man, and super foul. So we see Maylene's not record deal. We see Maylene's music is actually taking off now, thanks to a third party. Well, thanks to Dizzy. I kind of predicted that Jackie Moreno would be responsible for it. I mean, he made that meeting with Leslie, but once I get to Moreno, I'll talk more about that. But I was wrong. I admit that. I figured, hey, it's the last episode. It's not really too much that can go wrong. But hey, they did, and here's what happened. So with Francisco, we see he's still doing everything he needs to do with the mayor. He has Ezekiel there with him now for him to do he goes to meet the head of American Records, I think the name of the record company was, and he really doesn't trust him. We see he gets there before Moreno gets there, but like once Moreno get there, everything is being cool. They offer him some cake and everything. It kind of throws like for a twist at first. We see Moreno starts to get angry and starts like to speak his mind, and then the head of Americom like, look, I always believed in you. You just need a tough love, which I don't think is true, but hey, it's their show. So we got that figured out, and then once that was figured out, we don't really we see him. He does a speech at the conference. We see the hopeful mayor up there. We see Ezekiel's there. We see he set up so the girls can actually sing, and that was really it for Francisco. And let's move on to. Might as well just move to Moreno. So Moreno he's he has like his history is what caused the issue with Leslie. Leslie obviously used to be well, not obviously. Well, Leslie used to be his secretary or assistant, something like that, of that nature. And he happened to have sex with her. But at the same time, he fired her for stealing from him. We find out, and she's basically like angry about it. She's disgruntled, and now she has the power, and he needs something from her. So she basically makes him work for it. Like, and she makes him work for it. Like, she's sticking her fingers in his mouth. She makes him eat her out, and she still doesn't like do it for him. She tells him like the record is a hit. If she was to put it out, it would automatically like basically sell. But she tells him like I'm not gonna put it out just because of some spiteful shit. And she throws the record into a pile like you and this record is dead out in these streets. And I see him getting angry. He threatened to go to the cops and let her know like, look, you just raped me basically, and if I go to the cops, I can report you. But she really doesn't care. She doesn't think he'll actually do it. Go on and call rape. You know, men don't really call rape. So we see she just throws the record in the pile. He leaves. He's talking to Maylene and everything like, yeah, she said it's a hit, and basically tells her, oh, we don't need her. Blah blah blah. And he tells her we need another way. He's giving 24 hours and we'll figure another way out. And that's what happened. So this episode, we see Cadillac for a quick second. Cadillac doesn't really do much. We see Cadillac twice. We see Cadillac at the beginning when he's with his mom. He's with Shaolin and everybody when Big Wolf get killed. And like I said, we see him volunteer to kill his own cousin after he attempted to kill his mom. And that's the first time we see him. And then we see him again at the end of the episode. I forgot what he said, but we see him again at the end of the episode. And yeah, that's really it for Cadillac. So now let's move over to like the boys. Well, we can knock Maylene out real quick. Maylene didn't have a big part. So Maylene, we see her. She's still searching for a record deal. She goes with him with Leslie. She sees the producer. That's the producer, but the DJ that made her favorite album. She tells him, like, look, my record is really big. Leslie, listening to it right now. I think you should try it out and tell me what you think about it. So if you like it, you can play it. And he tells her, look, if Leslie says it's a go, then I'll play it, no questions. He doesn't really feel like getting involved with it himself, but hey, that's what happens. And then that's really it for right now. Well, Maylene, she sings again at the end of the episode for the big conference and everything. We see her talk to Ezekiel, tells him he did a good job with his speech. She's impressed by him. We see her again inside the actually get down. She's like happy that they're playing her music when they walk in. And at the end of it, we see her and Ezekiel talking, wondering if they can survive with one foot in their current lives, or one foot making their family happy and making their family happy or their job happy, and another foot into the life that they actually want to live. For Maylene, it's disco. For Ezekiel, it's the get down. And that's really all we see of Maylene. Now let's move over to the boys now. So for the boys, I'm going to start off with Dizzy. Dizzy had like the biggest part. Not really the biggest part. It was the smallest part, but biggest part. We see he's hanging out with Thor again. He goes to like the gay club. He's having a hard time getting in. And then we see Thor actually eventually gets him in. Once Thor gets him in, we see Thor with this nice little petite, like pretty girl. And he's kissing her all over and whatnot. And then later on, Dizzy ends up kissing her. And it goes down to like this weird twist that the boy he calls next on Dizzy. I personally didn't think Dizzy was bisexual or homosexual at all, but it turns out Dizzy kissed the guy. We don't know if it went any further, but a lot of people would probably be angry about that, how they did that. But I really don't have a problem with it. I really didn't care about it. No matter either way, it didn't really bother me. But once he does that, he gives the record to Thor, and Thor happens to give that record to the same DJ that Maylene was talking to prior. He didn't get the record from Leslie because, like we said, Leslie and Moreno has that history, so that didn't work out for them in that instance. But we see that once like Thor gives it to him, but Thor has an end with him, like they're friends. Like the record just takes off after that. The next morning, all the DJs are playing it, and that was how the record took off to the point where it pushed like the rest of the story like beyond for everybody else. Now for Ra, we don't see like we only time we really see Ra. Oh no, we see him inside when they capture Napoleon. We see like Ra isn't really feeling what Shaolin wants Boo Boo to do. Like he got his face down, his head like I don't really get down like this. And that's like the first time we see him. Then we see him again, and he's performing. Nobody can really find Ezekiel. Everybody's getting worried, and they don't know what to do. But he's like, "Come on, just everybody just worried." Like they all have faith in Ezekiel, but nobody knows what's really going on. So let's move on to Boo Boo. We see with Boo Boo, he's kind of the tough guy. We see it all episode, like not all episode, but all this season where he's willing to step up at times. He's willing like to speak up and make his voice be heard. But this moment when Shaolin asked him to do something, he was getting ready to do like Shaolin had to tell him like twice. He told him to put the record on, then he told him to to punch him in the face until the record ended. But Napoleon broke down before then. I'll get back to Napoleon later. And when he broke down, Boo Boo didn't want to attack him, which is like it's respectable. He figured like they already won. There's no reason for them to actually have to beat him down or anything. So that's the first time we see Boo Boo. And then again later on, but for the big get down, we see Boo Boo again. He's performing, he's doing his verse, he's dancing. Honestly, he probably was my favorite part of the get down was Boo Boo. The singing, the choreography, and everything he was doing. I like his part the most for this episode. Now, let's move on to you want with Ezekiel or Shaolin first? Let's just knock out Shaolin first. So Shaolin, like we see him, he's the one who actually puts like his foot on Napoleon's throat. And with Napoleon, like we see he's getting ready to attack him. And then Napoleon breaks down. He wants Napoleon basically to suck it up, stop crying. He's trying to figure out what's wrong with Napoleon. I'm assuming the little guy, we know his older brother got killed. But maybe that little guy was his brother too. He said he killed my brother because of what I known. But his older brother got killed because he was inside the club shooting. So that's why his older brother got killed. So I'm guessing the little kid was his brother too. That they shot at the first or second episode. I think the second episode that they shot. So we see that, and we see the all flashbacks of Napoleon going through, and he basically confesses everything to Shaolin. And I figured Shaolin was gonna turn him in, but he actually doesn't. We see later on in the Get Down when Shaolin like kills Wolf and everything, and we see Shaolin like he has his jockey guy, or record boy, and it's Napoleon. Napoleon's all cleaned up. He's wearing the Get Down colors, and we see that Shaolin basically took him in after what happened. So I actually like that. I'm glad to see that even though Shaolin like he actually murdered somebody, he actually saved somebody at the same time. And we see once Shaolin kills him, it's actually bothering him at the same time. Like he's not just okay about killing somebody; he's actually bothered by it, and he's kind of off focus about it. And we see later, like we see once he kills him, he gets promoted by Big Ann, and Big Ann wants him to do something that Saturday. She wants Shaolin to step up into Wolf's position. She wants him to sell all the drugs that Wolf used to sell. Not really sell them. I think she wants him to manage over the product and make sure all the drugs are being sold and make sure all the profits are coming back from the drugs. So that's what we see for Big Ann and Shaolin, for Big Ann and Shaolin's little controversy. And when she tells him it's on a Saturday, he tells her, look, I can't do it at the club, but I can do it at my event. If you bring me all the drugs, I'll make sure they all get sold at my event. We'll make more money at the event than we'll actually make at your club. So she goes for it. She tells him, so he asks her for a one-time trial. If it doesn't work, then no harm, no foul. They'll just do that at a new spot. So she goes for it. Hey, and there it goes. With that being said, we see Shaolin's upset. You see he's worried when it comes to the event because their secret weapon isn't there. Ezekiel's basically their secret weapon. He's their best rapper. He's not there on time. Ezekiel's tied up with the speech, so he's not there on time. So Shaolin just make the call like, look, it is a DJ battle. So they start the DJ battle. They're doing good at first, and then the Fabulous Three or something, or Fantastic Three, they turn their music basically all the way up and it drowns out Shaolin to the point basically where I figured they lost. Like nobody was dancing to them, nobody was listening to them. They basically lost. But we see they come back. We see that once Ezekiel show up, everything is fine. They break it down. They kill the beat. They do everything all fine and dandy. So we don't really get to see too much of Shaolin after that, but we do see Grandmaster Flash for a second. He basically gives him the stamp approval and telling him he's proud of him, basically from afar, and that's all we get. Now let's move to Ezekiel. So Ezekiel, we see he was he's having second. We see he's getting invited to I forget who he got invited to the house. He's at the house. The daughter is basically coming on to him. She's talking about all the stuff they had to do, and she's basically like being like a little asshole to mom and dad. Like, look, she's just doing this for attention. Don't worry about it. And he's okay with it. He's not really bothered by it. He gets it called. He gets into to a private meeting, basically in a study with just with him and the boss. They're talking about what he needs to do to step up. Can he step up? Can he leave his friends behind? Can he leave his family behind? Because once he starts to level up in his internship, and once start getting better jobs, everyone's going to start saying, "Oh, you changed. You're not the same. You're," and basically like, yeah, he's not going to be able to hang out with those same people anymore because he's going to be making so much money and whatnot. He agrees to it. Like, yes, I can do it. It won't be an issue. And with that being said, we see. What else do we see? And like we see like a roach come out his pocket, and the whole time they're talking about roaches and whatnot. And once he accepts it, he kills the roach. Also, with that being said, he gets put for a job on Saturday to do the speech. Yes, he does the speech, and we see why he's on there. The mayor hopeful candidate. He's talking about banning graffiti, talking about banning all this stuff. And that doesn't really sit right with Ezekiel. We see his face change. We see his demeanor change. He's having second thoughts about giving a speech. So once he goes up to give a speech, he calls out all of the big graffiti artists. So he calls out like Moses. He calls out We're Closer Together, 147, and everything. And all like the graffiti artists and all the younger people in the crowd are like cheering and laughing because they understand what he's talking about. The adults don't understand it, but we see like everybody's excited. All the younger people were excited about what he's talking about. And once he rapped, like nobody understands what he's talking about except for like the people his age. And once he raps his speech, he tells like, look, the youth isn't the problem here. It's the adults that are the problem. The youth are the solution. They basically see what the issues are, and they're learning about how to fix the issues in their way. And we see like in this show, all the adults are basically corrupted ones in the show. So it was like some truth behind that. He was like being sincere when everybody said that, and everybody seemed to really like feel it when he was saying that stuff. And of course, when the mayor is talking about, he's like, look, he's not one of those graffiti thugs. He's not one of those delinquents over there with all the boom boom music, which in part he was. He's supposed to be there already, but he was late just to do this part. So we see he does that, and then he goes to the actual get down. And once he shows up, we see he changes his outfit real quick. They all put the jacket on. I don't know why they waited for him to put the jacket on, but that's what they did. They waited for him to put the jacket on, and then they all put the jacket on, which was cool. The outfits was nice, but I say my favorite part of that was still Boo Boo. So, and there we have it. That was really it for the episode. Then once they win the get down, we find out that he's like trying to figure out if he can make it in both worlds at the same time. And I guess for part 2, we'll figure it out. So until next time, thank you guys for joining in for all 6 episodes. If you did join in for all 6 episodes, if not, you can always go back and catch the other 5. And Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you think I missed anything. As always, follow us on Instagram at lost_culture. Follow me on Instagram at Saint_Aston. And stay lost.